Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Cookbook Chronicles. Today, we're diving into the legendary world of the French Laundry Cookbook by Chef Thomas Keller. On the menu, an iconic dish that combines elegance and simplicity: salmon tartare with luscious sweet red onion crème fraîche, and we're going to explore how Chef Keller transforms these ingredients into a masterpiece and how you could create it in your own kitchen. And that dish is the Salmon Cornet, or Salmon Cornet. To begin, we are going to make the cornets. For the cornets, you'll need the following: 2 egg whites, a quarter cup and 3 tablespoons of all-purpose flour, 1 tablespoon plus 1 teaspoon of sugar, 1 teaspoon of kosher salt, 8 tablespoons or 4 ounces of unsalted butter, which is roughly a stick of butter, and then 2 tablespoons of black sesame seed. I'll be sure to put the recipe in the description, so if you don't want to watch the video and follow along with it and get the ingredients that way, you can just easily access the description and get the ingredients there. The Salmon Cornet is inspired by the traditional ice cream cone, but reimagined as a savory amuse-bouche. And Keller first created the Salmon Cornet as a playful yet refined prelude to his multi-course tasting menu. Its origins trace back to Keller's desire to surprise and delight diners by presenting something familiar, an ice cream cone, in an unexpected way and sophisticated way. The base is this delicate tuille cone, which we're making now, and in order to make that, we're going to make a stencil, as you see me preparing here, using a lid of a deli container. The lid of the deli container that I have has this kind of opaque ring around, but if you don't have that, use a 3.5 to 4 inch round ring mold, and you could use a Sharpie or a marker to trace around it, and then cut out using a knife or a pair of scissors. I started with a paring knife to a bird's beak knife to kind of get it started, then use scissors to cut out the rest of the inside. So next, you're going to get your flour and dry ingredients and mix those together and put it off to the side. After that, you're going to want to make sure that your butter is cold yet soft, because you're going to be whipping this until it's like a mayo-esque texture. Once your butter is whisked and in this creamy mayo-esque texture or consistency, put it off to the side and grab your flour, sugar, salt, and pour in your 2 egg whites. And this, you're going to want to use a stiff spatula or spoon and whisk it all together until it's lump free. Once you have that batter, grab your butter, and you're gonna slowly add your butter into this sugar flour mixture, but you're gonna do it in 3 parts. So take 1/3 of it, add it in, whisk it around till it's nice and silky smooth. Then get your next, third, fold it in as well, and then finally your last, and fold that in. This batter should be nice and silky smooth with no lumps and no chunks of butter left. Then put it into a small container and cover it. Put it in the fridge until you need it. The next step is going to be using your stencil on a non-stick baking sheet, or a silpat as I know it, and the batter is going to go inside your ring mold or stencil. Start out with just a little bit, kind of spread it out. You don't want this to be too thick or too thin. The same thickness as your stencil is perfect. It might take you a little while to kind of get that thickness right, but it's completely fine. Just keep on trying, and if you want to, bake one off first to see if it works that way. And if it does, then perfect. Continue with that same thickness. But as I said, just the same thickness as your stencil is perfect. Once you have all 6 spread out, get your black sesame seeds and liberally sprinkle over the top of each individual cornet batter. Then you're gonna slip the silpat right on top of a cookie sheet or baking tray, and once your oven's ready, pop them on in the oven. It's gonna take about 4 minutes for these to start bubbling like so, and I'm not really sure what's up with my oven, but they were sliding around a little bit. As you could see, they kind of got stuck together, or not necessarily stuck together, but they, slid against one another. And I just got my offset spatula and kind of moved them back, but you're going to flip them over and roll them into a cone right now anyway. So I just, moved them so I had space to work and roll, as you'll see in a second. Now, if you're right-handed like I am, it's best to put the point towards the left and roll that way. I don't know why this is, but trust me, it's easier if you do it that way, because rolling them any other way is just kind of difficult and doesn't really work that well. You'll want to put the cornets back into the oven with the seam side down. This way, when you bake them again for another 3 to 4 minutes, it sets the seam and it's not going to unravel the cone. However, after those extra 3 to 4 minutes, stand up your cones like so and put them back in the oven for another minute to 2 minutes so that they'll get golden brown on all sides. Finally, once you pull them out, let them sit upright for about 30 seconds or so before you pull them off. Alright, so I'm excited how these turned out. This is the first batch, and I mean, beautifully golden brown. Perfect thickness, I think, or at least near perfect. Only thing is there's a hole right here. So next batch, I want to make sure I seal all these up. Try to get it more closed. But if you look, they all have those holes. So I want to try to get it a little bit more tight and neat. This way, nothing falls out of the bottom. But, I mean, look. Greatness right there. That's like, so I'm so happy. I guess the only thing that's left to do is taste it. But ice cream cones. So let's just try this and see how it is. Flavor is fantastic. Wow. Impressed. Very creamy. So good. Sesame seeds are great. Again, the thickness is right where it needs to be. Just crispy. So crispy. Now, cut the salmon. Gonna make the crème fraîche. Fill these bad boys up. Now for the salmon tartare, what you'll need is roughly 4 ounces of salmon fillet. The belly is preferred, and the salmon that I will be using, and you'll see in a moment, is wild caught king salmon, and it's about a pound of it. I will remove the belly, and you'll see how I remove the pin bones, because I'm going to save the bigger fillet for another video, which you'll see in the future. But the belly is pristine. It's really nice. I'll show you how I cleaned it up and how I cut it. But you will also need the following: extra virgin olive oil, some lemon oil, and about a teaspoon of finely minced chives, a teaspoon of finely minced shallots, and also a teaspoon or half a teaspoon of kosher salt, then a pinch of freshly cracked white pepper. Since I was cutting all my onions and chives and whatnot, I went ahead and I cut my red onions, and that is going to be for the crème fraîche. Everything's minced very finely, as you see, and make sure you rinse your red onion, because you don't want it to be really astringent or really like super strong. Now for the king salmon. So I'm going to remove all of that belly right in front of us and kind of clean up the bottom of it as well. Then get rid of that little spine column. But that's the piece I'm going to use right there for the tartare. And then we'll just get rid of this little bit of spine, I guess, like fragments that were left from filleting the fish, just to clean it up. There's also some pin bones in here, and I'm going to just go ahead and get rid of those now. This way I don't have to deal with them later. And this probably isn't the best way to take out the pin bones using those tweezers, but that's what I had in sight, so that's what I used. Now I'm just going to remove the skin, and it's so much easier to remove the skin when it's like a whole fillet, but you know, this is what I'm using, so just got to deal with it. I tend to cut my fish into smaller pieces in order to get nice, beautiful minced pieces or brunoise pieces. It just makes it so much easier to work with, smaller and less pieces. This way to don't really smash the fish. I don't really want to like roughly chop it because I want some texture to the salmon and the tartare. So when I do a mince, it's fine like that and not just really like chopped up and mushy. Now what you're going to do is take your minced shallots, chives, your black pepper, salt, lemon oil, and olive oil, and mix those all together and let them marinate for anywhere to 30 minutes to 12 hours. Once it's all mixed up, make sure that you taste it. If you have to adjust the seasoning, please do so. Just remember, recipes are guidelines, and you should season how you see fit. But that's how it should look. When I tasted it, I thought it tasted great. So I'm going to cover it up and let it sit in the fridge for about 30 minutes. Moving on to our sweet red onion crème fraîche. So we're going to rinse those red onions like I said before, and then we are also going to whip up this creme fraiche so that it holds a soft peak. I might have overwhipped this a little bit. If you do overwhip it, you can add a little bit of milk, heavy cream, just a tiny, tiny bit, and then whisk it again, and it'll loosen it up. Be sure to dry off your red onions as much as you possibly can, and that's going to go into your bowl of creme fraiche, along with some more white pepper and kosher salt. You're going to mix it around, and again, taste and adjust as needed. Once your creme fraiche is mixed together, grab a piping bag and fill it with your mixture. I really like nice clean piping bags, so I take the extra time to kind of push everything down so it's near the tip and tie it off. Normally I'd cut it, but I didn't, so it's all good. Alright, now that we have everything done, plate up. I have a nice little container, sesame seeds. I'd put it in there pretty good so it holds well. Then we are going to fill this up about 3/4 of the way. With our creme fraiche. Go a little bit more. Then our salmon has been marinating for about 30 minutes. And I'm going to use a melon baller and see how this works. I'm hoping it works good. This way we get a nice little ball. Try to mold it a little bit. Let's see. Might be a little bit too big, but you know what? I think that'll work. So there's your cornet. To finish it off, you want to grab one of these little chive tips. If you just have to, feel free to use tweezers. It's okay, you don't need to. But we're going to use one of these chive tips that we cut off to put right on top. And that's it. It's your salmon cornet. Beautiful, right? But the best part is we have to taste it. So, let's get a nice little close-up. What do you think? You think it looks good? I think it looks good. Alrighty, so here we are. Cornet. Let's give it a try. So, no, I think it looks great. Like, I'm surprised. If you look, it's just the right amount of salmon. And again, let's just try this thing. Chef Keller. Yeah, this will put a smile on anyone's face. It's playful. It tastes amazing. So many different textures. You get the lemon, you get shallot, chive, a little toasted black sesame seed, and the salmon's just really, really good. This is awesome. Try this. And one more thing, for storage, use a glass container, paper towel on the bottom. Right? Pretty nice. You know what? I have silica packets as well. Draw out some of the moisture, throw a couple of those in there. I just have stuff randomly throughout the house, so, you know, work in the kitchen, have kitchen stuff. Almost always prepared for everything. Almost always. And there they are, the salmon cornets, or cornets, however you want to pronounce it. But if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment, let me know if you would make these at home, or let me know what I should make next from the French Laundry Cookbook. Thanks again, Happy New Year, and can't wait to respond to your comments.